Today, we'll be talking about what eDocs and KBA actually are and how to use them. We'll talk about creating eDoc templates to save yourself some time down the road here. And lastly, we'll talk about actually sending these guys out and keeping track of them once you've given them to your clients to sign. So, what are eDocs? eDocs are essentially fillable PDFs that you can send and have your clients fill out and sign directly through Liscio using the browser or their phone if they want to be on the go here. We partner with Adobe Sign to make this happen. We embed it directly into our product. There's no subscription necessary, but you do pay per document that you send. Now, some common use cases for eDocs. A lot of people use them for 8879s to sign electronically, getting a signature on a tax return, having a client fill out an ACH or a credit card authorization form. People use them for questionnaires and organizers, as well as power of attorney. But they're great for anything that you need to send out as a fillable PDF to have your client sign. Now, for engagement letters, we actually recommend to use our Get a Signature task feature, which is built in and completely free. It's great if you just need a click to sign sort of signature on something like an engagement letter. Now, what is KBA? KBA, or Knowledge Based Authentication, is an IRS compliant way to verify the identity of a client signing a document electronically. The contact will be asked 4 questions based off of their credit history, which is pulled through LexisNexis. Once they answer these questions correctly, they'll be able to sign that eDoc and get you your signature. Now, KBAs are typically only used when sending out 8879s to clients or any other document that the IRS requires verification of identity on. It's not necessary for things like questionnaires, engagement letters, or ACH forms. You can add them to those if you'd like, just for your own peace of mind, but it's not essential, necessary, or required. Now, as for eDoc and KBA pricing, eDocs are charged per document, not per signer. This means you can have multiple signers, 2 or more, and it's only going to cost one eDoc. You can combine documents together though, so things still will only count as one eDoc when it sends. For example, I can attach an ACH form to a tax return and gather their payment details as they sign. It's only going to cost one eDocument. KBAs, however, are charged per signer. Every person that needs verified would cost one KBA. An example here, you can send an 8879 to a married couple and it would cost one eDoc and 2 KBAs. Looking at the sheet, one eDoc at base price is $1.50. KBAs are $2 each, so 2 KBAs would be $4 plus $1.50. We'd be looking at about $5.50 at base price to send an 8879 that is verified with KBA. You can always reach out to the support team if you need to purchase any additional eDocs or KBA documents. All right, let's dig in here and get started by creating an eDoc template. You can find the template library from the eDocs page on that left-hand menu bar here. eDocs right at the bottom. That's going to take you to your eDocs page where you can see your eDocs that you've already sent out. We can navigate to our template library where we would see any template that we create. So let's go ahead and add the template to this library here. Super simple stuff on this page. We'll go ahead and name this template. Be wary that the clients will be able to see this when you send it to them, so be careful of the name you choose. You're also unable to edit this later. And the next step will be to actually choose the PDF you'd like to build this eDoc on. So I'll hit browse and search my computer. In this demo, we're going to be uploading an ACH form to our eDoc template library. So I'll grab my ACH form. And the last step is to preview and add these fields. So now we're looking at the Adobe interface where we can add our fields for the clients to fill out here. Let's go ahead and start with our signature field while we're on that option. We can drag and drop signature to our authorized signature line here. And now the client would be able to enter their signature in that box. We can move back up to the top here, and this time let's look for a text box here. We can find the text box under data fields, text input. Again, we'll just drag and drop it to the line we'd like to see it on. So we'll move it to bank so the client can enter in their bank name. You can always adjust the size here. Let's add another one for their branch. And I'm not going to go through adding all of these right now. I'll go ahead and move on to look at checkboxes. So we need to have a checkbox here so that they can choose between checking and savings. But the thing with checkboxes here, we can move the checkboxes onto where they need to go, but the client would be able to select both of these checkboxes. Checkboxes are completely independent of each other, and you can select as many as you would like. So since a bank account can't be checking and savings, it doesn't make sense to use checkboxes here where they could select both. In this case, we'd want to use radio buttons. Radio buttons exist in groups that are tied together, so you can only select one of them. So we'll go ahead and move our radio buttons onto checkings and savings, and now the client is only able to select one of these. I'll go ahead and jump ahead to me finishing this document. Now that all the fields have been entered in on this document and it's ready to go, we can click on Save to save this template here. And now we'll be able to see that ACH form in our template library here, ready for use. To save a little bit of time before actually sending out these eDocs, we do recommend that you create some eDoc description templates so that you don't have to spend as much time typing when it comes time to send this eDoc out. You can find your description templates in the lower left-hand corner on these ellipses here. You'll be able to choose Admin, Templates, and you'll see a list of all your message templates along with task templates, but we are looking for eDoc templates up here. You can click on plus template to create a brand new eDoc description template here. And this would just be the subject line for the task that your client would get here. So we'll say 8879 form, and we can just type in that description. I'll just copy and paste that in there for convenience. And now whenever we go to send an eDoc, we can automatically have this text appear for us. I'll go ahead and create template, and now we can see that 8879 form description template ready to go. Form field layers are great for documents that are templated but still need to change a little bit from client to client before you send them out. For example, 8879s are the same document regardless of the client. However, their names and social security numbers, tax information, all those pieces are going to change from client to client. So in those cases, we recommend that you create a form field layer to overlay templates on these documents without you having to drag and drop every single field for every single 8879 you send out. I'll show you what I mean here. You can create a form field layer in Liscio by going to your eDocs tab on this left-hand menu. We'll select eDocs, and then you'll be able to go to the template library. And from here, you can add template to library and name this template. I'll call this 8879 form field layer for 2 signers. And from here, we recommend that you grab a template version of the document you'd like to create with the form field layer. So for this example, I'll use this 8879 demo we have here. And now we can go ahead and preview and add these fields. Once the Adobe interface loads, you'll be able to drag and drop the items where you need them to go. So we can scroll down, and we know the client needs a signature here. So let's go ahead and drag and drop this signature for the client where it needs to go. And since there are 2 signers, we'll want to make sure that we switch the recipient from participant 1 to participant 2 before we create this next signature line here. So now that we are choosing participant 2 as our recipient, we can drag and drop the place for participant 2 to sign. And now both spouses will be able to sign this document here. The last step we'll want to take here is to click on template properties. And let's switch this from a reusable document to a reusable form field layer. Now, whenever we save this document, you'll be able to use it as a form field layer in the future. On the next slides, we'll cover how to use these. Let's go ahead and send an eDoc to our clients to gather 2 signatures on. In this example, I'm going to use an 8879 that we'll send to Steve and Terry Irwin for their 1040 tax return. You can follow along with your own contacts here. So to send this eDoc off, we'll go ahead and click on the Add New button, and we'll select eDoc at the bottom of the list here. In this To field, you'll be able to choose who you'd like to add and have sign this document. So let's choose Terry Irwin from the Australia Zoo. And since 8879s require 2 signatures for spouses, let's go ahead and add Steve in there as well. Don't forget to check the KBA box if you're sending out a form like an 8879. KBA, again, stands for Knowledge-Based Authentication, and they are required for 8879s for IRS compliance. You can choose if you'd like to leave the signing order on. If you turn it off, it will send to all of your recipients at the same time and they'd be able to sign it independently. Keeping it on will send it to one person at a time here. So right now it will go to Terry to sign, and once Terry signs it, it'll go to Steve to sign. We'll go ahead and choose our agreement title, but since we've already created our eDoc description template, let's go ahead and just click on that and save us a little bit of trouble there. Now, we'll go ahead and add Terry and Steve's 8879. So I'll browse my computer and find the 8879 for Terry and Steve here. And now we've got everything put together on this page. We'll go ahead and click Prepare Doc for signing. And once this loads, we'll be taken to the Adobe interface again, where we'll be able to make any last minute changes to this document and put the fields where they need to go. Since we've already created a form field layer template for this document here, let's go ahead and click on Field Templates up here and select our 8879 form field layer for 2 signers. We can apply this, and it's going to drop our signatures exactly where we place them. And now, since we've got all the information filled out here from their tax return we pulled in, and we've got their signatures placed already using that form field template, all we have to do is press send. Now at this point, it'll go out to Terry to sign, and then it will go to Steve to sign, and then at that point, you'll have a document returned back to you as a PDF format with both signatures on it. Now that we've created our first eDoc template, let's take a look at actually sending it out, this time using a bulk action. Bulk actions can be used to send out eDocs to multiple contacts in one smooth process here, and you're going to find that it's great for generic documents like questionnaires or ACH. In this example, I will go ahead and send out an ACH to all of our 1040 clients in Liscio. So feel free to follow along with your own set of clients here. You can find bulk actions on the left-hand menu bar. So we'll select bulk actions here, and let's choose Send eDocs. Now from this page, we can choose our filters and hit search to generate our list of clients here. So right now, we're looking at a list of all of our clients, but let's filter it down so that we're only selecting our 1040 clients. We can select entity, choose the entity type of our clients we'd like to send this to, such as 1040. Now let's hit search again. and it's going to show us a list of all clients that are 1040 entity type. So we can grab all of our 1040s. We can select everyone's name all at once here, or maybe we could select a few at a time. Maybe we'll grab John Lennon too. We can go ahead and hit next step, and this will allow us to choose our title and description for this bulk eDoc we're sending out here. So we're going to ask everyone to sign this ACH form. Hi, client. Let's keep it simple. Please sign this ACH form. Super, super easy, right? So let's click on templates now, and this will open our template library. We've got a bunch we've made in the past here, but this demo use ACH form is the one that we want to look at that we created earlier. So we can click on next step here, send it to these contacts, and this eDoc will now be sent to our clients to sign, just like that. It can take a few minutes sometimes for the request to process, but you are going to receive an email letting you know when it has been sent off successfully. You'll be able to keep track of your eDocs in two different places in Liscio. Method one will be by going to the left-hand menu bar and finding eDocs at the bottom. From the eDocs page, you'll be able to see a list of all of your in-progress agreements. You can switch to completed to see a list of everything that has already been completed. You can switch to canceled to see all of your canceled agreements. And you can also switch to draft to see a list of all of the eDocs that you've created but have not sent quite yet. Method 2 for finding your eDoc agreements in Liscio will be by going to the tasks page. On the tasks page, you'll be able to see a list of all of your tasks in Liscio. You can also switch to type here and find eDocs to just see a list of every eDoc you've sent out to your clients here. You'll be able to see in open tasks a list of all eDocs that have not been completed yet. Once they are in pending review, that means the client has signed and it's your turn to review this before moving it to archived or completed. These are the two ways you can find eDoc agreements in Liscio.